Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review BlacKkKlansman, Spike Lee's newest film. And to be perfectly honest, right off the bat, I'm not the hugest fan of Spike Lee. I think that too much of his work is so in your face that it's obnoxious, it's over the top, and it's it's too much, and I feel like his message gets lost in how aggressive his message is. And this film actually is one of my favorite films of his. I really enjoyed BlacKkKlansman and think that it was a really well done film. And I think Spike Lee does a great job of not going too far with the film to the point where his message isn't aggressively beaten into your head all the time, to the point where I think there was a little finesse with this, and I think that might be something that developed over time, because a lot of his big message films were very early on in his career, where it's younger and you have all that energy. I feel like this felt like it was much more maturely put together film, and really the acting in this is superb. John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, who plays Ron Woodruff in this film, is so great. And I think I got his name wrong. Sorry, I was thinking something else. Anyway, but when it really comes down to it, John David Washington was fantastic in this film. And he was very strong central performance. He really gave it his all, and I really bought it in from him. And he had moments of, he was really funny, he was intense, he had all that going for him. And Adam Driver was really great too, and I really appreciated their dynamic together. And what Adam Driver brought to this was something like more of a level-headed performance, and really gritty and grounded, but also when he had to, he turned it on, and he was very believable, uncomfortably believable. And the supporting cast, there's so many supporting actors in this film that did such an amazing job. And Topher Grace as David Duke I was really surprised, and he did a fantastic job, and I'm glad that they cast him. And this film is very deep and thematic, obviously dealing with race relations, and I really appreciated what it looked at in terms of different ways of fighting against tyranny and bigotry and racism, because I think that's a big message. And I find that interesting that Spike Lee took that on, because in the past, it felt like in the past a lot more of his work was a lot more aggressive, in your face, and some people can construe as belligerent, but like this film felt much more mature, and also dealt with characters that felt that way and tried to express their message that way. And what is the best way of doing it? It gives these different things, and it really gives a haunting perspective on racism and how just honestly normal people can be that filled with hate, and how uncomfortable it can be in the context of normal day life. There's one scene between a husband and a wife in their bedroom that was really uncomfortable to watch, because they were so loving and connected, but what they were saying was really intense and horrifying. And it's intriguing, it's engrossing. This film really keeps you into, where's this film going, what's it going to talk about, and when am I going to get there, honestly. And it is suspenseful at moments. There's some really intense moments where you're on the edge of your seat, but then there's the laugh out loud moments, because there's parts of this film that are absolutely hilarious. And Chase Irvin, who's the DP for this, was really well shot. The camera work was really well done, and very like importantly, it felt every shot and every camera movement was done for a reason and conveyed exactly what it wanted to. And that's an important thing when it comes to cinematography. And Terrence Blanchard, who does the score for this, was really well done, and the music choices were really great and really fit the film, and the time period really felt and made it engrossing. It is really on the nose at moments. There's one particular thing where one of the characters, and I'm going to spoil a line, but it's like, our country will never elect somebody that's a bigot and is hateful. It's like, everyone in the audience knows exactly what that's supposed to mean in context of today, and I hate when movies do that, because it's them literally breaking the fourth wall and like literally winking at the audience, and not in like a fun, clever Deadpool way, but like an obnoxious, let me hit you with a sledgehammer right now, duh. And it is heavy-handed at moments, and that is something that bothers me about a lot of Spike Lee films, but I feel like he restrained that for the most part in this. There's one really, really annoying piece of casting in this film that really bothered me, and I don't know why it bothered me so much. Nicholas Turturro plays one of the Klansmen. He is very, 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 very obviously not a wasp. Doesn't even try to hide his like New Yorker accent, his Italian New Yorker accent. Doesn't try to hide that at all. And I'm just like, and he's supposed to be like towards the third act of the movie, he's like a significant character, and it like it's like, oh my god, he's Jewish, like pointing out somebody else, and it's just like, you're obviously Italian. What the hell's going on here? That bothered me so much, and that's like where like certain casting things can take you out of the movie. And Patrice, the female character that's a love interest of our main character, I felt like she was a caricature, and she was just an obnoxious stereotype, that none of her lines felt organic because they were like basically paint by the numbers. This is what like a Black Power activist would say, and there's no finesse or anything into the lines that she had, the dialogue she had, and like she didn't even feel like a real character, and it was distracting. And the very end, I wish that they cut it at one particular moment that I think would have been the perfect ending, but then it went a little bit further. And that's tricky, because endings are the hardest things to get right about a film, and I felt like this missed it by a little much. But honestly, this is definitely one of my top 20 films so far this year. And in a year where so many films dealing with these kinds of themes and messages are really important and coming out, this is part of that string of very well done, very well put together, great films that have come out this year. So honestly, I would really highly recommend this film, and it is a tough watch. It deals with a lot of different things that are very sensitive issues, but I think it's important. So I encourage you all to go out and see it, and thank you for always tuning in to your Wasteland Reviewer.